John, we can't talk about this week's cup tie without a final word on the result and the performance from Tuesday. Great to see everything click into place on national TV for a crucial derby victory.
Yeah, very much so. As I said on Tuesday night, we had some good games on the BBC, just never got the goals that our play deserved, and on Tuesday night the goals came along with the performance, which was everything really. The goals are what eventually make you win the games. We've played well in the games I mentioned against Inverness and Ayr United, but we didn't quite get the goals. Tuesday night was a complete performance from start to finish. Obviously the downside was a goal we lost, but no point going on about that when there's so many positive things to talk about. There was so many good performances, and the team as a whole were excellent. Absolutely different class. And so, it was one to savour. It certainly was. I think everyone is still on a high from it. But we have to get back down to earth, and we have to realise we've got a very difficult Scottish Cup tie coming up, which we need to be switched on to. But yeah, it was a special night, which will live in the memory, certainly for me, and I'm sure everyone, the players, backroom staff, and I'm sure fans. I mean, what's hit me is the older generation of fans, Rovers fans, who have got in contact and said how they've seen all the teams that they've, for many, many years, going back to the 90s and what have you, and they all thought that Tuesday night's complete performance was the best they've ever seen, and that speaks volumes for everyone that was involved in Tuesday night. The performance, when people like that tell you that, and that means a lot.
Yeah, I certainly give you that sentiment. Your best team performance since the early 90s, and you'll be looking to carry that strong performance into the cup tie against Livi. It's a real test of our progress to match up against a team from that have done so well in the top flight in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the other night there we clicked. Dunfermline were a little bit weaker, and we took advantage of that. Livingston have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. We've played probably 4 or 5 games in the last 2 weeks. They've had, nothing. They've had a break, an international break. They've had a chance to look at us and watch us, which they have done. I know they've watched us. They'll be prepared for us, and it'll be a different game entirely. I don't think we'll get as much space and as much time on the ball. That's very much a big part of Livingston's play, is to close down, to press, to hunt the ball down, to win the ball back high up the pitch. So we can expect a completely different game. It would be nice for us to go out and do that, but a lot will come down to the opposition. They're a top 6 club at the moment. They've done exceptionally well, so you're taking on one of the top 6 clubs in Scotland. So it'll be a big test. We went there last year. They were going exceptionally well at that time, and I thought for long spells, for 75 minutes or so, we gave them a right good game. It kind of turned on a refereeing decision for me. So we go there, very much respecting the opposition, because they're doing great. They sort of get a name about what I mentioned there, pressing, hunting the ball down, but they've got technical players as well, and Sibbald and Pittman, Holt. They've got some really good technical players as well. Forrest is a winger. He's not a great big giant. He's going to kick lumps at you. They've got technical players as well. The defenders go up for set plays. They've got long throws. They've got guys who score from set plays. So they've got a mix. They're not just one dimensional. They've got a mix. So we've got to be prepared for both.
Yeah. And a key aspect from that tie last year, was their physicality, their strength at set pieces. Good that we've only played them a year ago, and it's fresh in the memory what to expect from Dave Martindale's side.
Yeah. There's been personnel changes. Lyndon Dykes is no longer there, but the style's much the same. Obviously a change of manager. Gary Holt was in charge, but David's been in the background all the time, and taking the background lightly, is very much involved. So yeah, I think the style is very, very similar to then. Slight difference in 1 or 2 individuals, but the style is the same. So we know what to expect. We have to deal with that, and we have to try and get our game to work under severe pressure, because we will get put under a lot of pressure from Livingston wanting to win the ball back. So we need to be cute, we need to be smart, we need to move the ball quickly, and we need to move the ball with accuracy. And if we can do that, then we give ourselves a right chance, because seen the other night there, regardless of Livingston coming and pressing us, if we can pass the ball well, it doesn't matter. You know, if we can pass it really well, we now have a threat. We've got a threat. You know, we 5 goals the other night there, and there could be more. So we had a wee spell there where we weren't scoring goals, 3 goals, and we didn't score. Then we've won a couple of games, 2-0 and 1-0, and then the 5 come along. So we're back scoring goals, and I think we'll take chances on Saturday. So again, hopefully we can take them and come out on top.
There'll be intriguing matchups, competitions all over the pitch, but off the pitch, it's going to be an interesting battle between Rovers' philosophy under yourself and Paul, and Livi's under Dave Martindale, somebody that you've known for some period of time, having him come in when you were in charge at Livi.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's two different ones, but not so different than playing like at Ayr United, or even to a lesser extent at Morton. They've probably got different threats, but Davy Hopkin was a manager at Livingston a few years ago when they were on their way up in the ascendancy, and probably put that style in, and so the Ayr United style is now very similar to Livingston. Livingston have been doing it for a lot longer now, consistently, and Davy's just in Ayr United. But everyone knows how he plays because it was the same as Morton, previously. So, yeah, we know what to expect. We have to be able to deal with it. That's the thing, the physicality and the height that they've got, the set plays is an issue. But we dealt with that on the whole last year very well. We did deal with it very well. It was the penalty that turned the game, and then they stole the ball off us high at the pitch, which was one of their trademarks. And unfortunately, the goal in the dying seconds was irrelevant really at that point in time. So yeah, we know what to expect. We need to be prepared for it. We're playing with confidence. We've got to make sure that we don't dilly-dally on the ball. We're moving the ball quickly, and if you can do that, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. If you play good intensity with a purpose, then you can play through an aggressive press.
And with the performance on Tuesday against Dunfermline and our league position improving, there's no temptation that we're going to look at this cup game as any sort of distraction. It's the Premier Cup competition in the country. We want to do as well and go as far as possible.
We've time to settle down, get back down to earth, and realise that we've got a very big game coming up, and we have to go and do our absolute utmost. You never know. You get through this, you get a wee luck of the draw, and all of a sudden, you're well down the way. So
finally, we strengthened the squad this week. Nathan Cooney arrives on loan from Dundee United. Not somebody we know a great deal about. What's he going to bring to the table for the rest of this season?
A bit of cover in defence, really. We are very light in defence. When we were bringing players in, we thought we were well covered. We're having, Ian Davison and Fernando, who are now not available, unfortunately. Fernando obviously getting the call up with the international, and we still thought we were well enough covered. But then Ian got hit with the 5-game ban, which really caught us out. We weren't expecting that, obviously. So with the lads, we've not been able to give any of the defenders any sort of rest at all. Had 4 defenders and they've had to play in every game. So it gives us a little bit of cover. As a young lad, it'll be a good experience for him to come in here and learn a little bit more, So I'm sure he'll enjoy his time here, and that's one of the key aspects of coming from a young player, trying to learn, come out on loan, and he'll probably play his part between now and the end of the season. But it's a little bit of cover, really.
Yeah, and you'll get your first look at him in training tonight. Is
Yes.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Good. Right. Okay. Well, we'll let you get on with your preparations for tonight's session and indeed the game at the weekend. Thanks again, John, for your time, and good luck for the weekend.
Right. Thanks, Neil.